recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio this episode is Peter.
Hey y'all!
And Tom.
Howdy, y'all.
Woo!
Hi Tom. Hi Zahra.
How are we all doing today?
Doing well.
Yeah?
It's not as hot this week.
That is true. It is at least 5 degrees cooler than last week.
For the moment.
Don't get me started on the start of this week.
Yeah.
I feel like we're talking about the weather so much, but it's just always relevant.
It is.
It's
always gaming weather.
Yes, you're right. It's always gaming weather.
Never a bad day to stay inside and stay glued to a screen.
Exactly.
Or a tabletop.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's pop that on some.
Sorry, that's how you rest your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
By transporting over to the table and just getting away from the screen. We have our usual lineup for tonight's episode. We've got the week in gaming news. We've got a couple of reviews. Before we get into all of that, so I've just moved house.
You have indeed.
And games like unpacking.
Yes.
That's not the moving experience.
No.
Moving out is probably a little bit closer.
Moving out is probably closer, just in terms of like the stress, but like it's still, you're kind of like having, the stress is fun. The stress of moving is not fun.
Does moving out have time limits?
Well, I mean, you're going for like a 3-star rating, where it's like you need to get it done under a certain amount of time for a better score.
Which is like before the bond cleaners come in.
Right, okay. That's what I was imagining. Like you've got 2 hours to get all your stuff out or your,
Yeah.
I would love it if like, there was this fighting game featuring the character One Punch Man.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a game mode where you're not playing as One Punch Man, but there's like the time limit and you have a certain amount of time before One Punch Man arrives.
Yeah.
And
because no one can beat One Punch Man, so you just have to bide your time until he gets there, like in the show.
I like to, in my very, very stressful, realistic moving game, I want there to be like, like 10 minutes before the bond cleaners arrive and like the little portrait appears and a countdown timer starts.
And you see them driving down the road.
Yeah. So that is my challenge to developers out there. Create a stressful game about moving.
Yeah. Make a game that we all hate.
Yes.
Yep.
And makes me angry and stressed. We're going to go into some true horrors. The week in gaming news.
It's the news. Brought to you by Paul this week. We have Dennis Dyack, notable designer of Eternal Darkness and Two Human, has revealed a spiritual successor to his 1996 creation, Legacy of Kain. Dyack gained some notoriety back in 2012, wherein his company Silicon Knights sued Epic Games over accusations they were withholding features of the Unreal Engine from their clients. Epic countersued, resulting in a court order to destroy all remaining copies of Two Human and X-Men Destiny, as well as cancelling development of other Unreal Engine-based games. Anywho, the new game, Dead House Sonata, should launch in early access early this year and is also built on Unreal Engine 5. So,
Do
I
either
guess...
of you remember when this all kicked off in 2012?
Yep.
Yeah, there was all that cancelled Legacy of Kain game stuff that came out around then as well. Yeah.
I really enjoyed Two Human, but yeah, all of this came about after it, and there was a whole bunch of development hell from what I heard on Two Human as well, regardless of the Unreal Engine. Lots of over-promising and console exclusivity that wasn't supposed to happen and stuff.
I guess we'll see what he's been cooking.
Yeah, I mean, the name sounds cool enough, but we'll see what happens.
Some cool
with it.
ideas.
Yeah.
So, it'd be worth keeping an eye on. Also this week, Microsoft showed off 4 things. Microsoft held a developer direct which focused on 4 upcoming titles in their version of like a Nintendo Direct sort of thing, except more based on like the developer side of it.
I liked it. It was quite an in-depth explanation.
Yeah, so the games that they showed off were Forza Horizon, the next one, which is going to be based in Japan, which is like, yeah, sure, cool, that's
All
Forza
the
Horizon.
car
It's an interesting
heads have been
location
going
and
bonkers about it.
there will be plenty of drifting within the Tokyo.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be very, very good, very little teriyaki boys.
I saw something
Very
about
beautiful.
like a giant Gundam statue that you
Yeah.
can race around as well.
Yeah, because they've got one.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They do.
So Game Freak was also there with their Beast of Reincarnation. So that's Game Freak that make Pokemon and stuff. But this game looks not like Pokemon.
No.
Interesting.
It's like a post-apocalyptic samurai action game, and you have a cool a plant dog companion that does moves and stuff. So it looks like sort of like a Devil May Cry style action game, where you can also pause and use special moves through the dog, similar to like the ATB style in the Final Fantasy VII Remake series and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it actually looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool. I was definitely interested. It's interesting coming from Game Freak.
Yeah, I like that they're still making little sidekick creatures that have moves that level up and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I first saw an image of it, I'm just like, is this somehow related to Okami?
Yeah.
It's just, it has a very interesting art style
What
as
if
well.
Okami was grass and not sun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
One person, one dog action RPG.
Yeah.
Finally.
Looks cool. Also, was from Double Fine, they announced their upcoming online multiplayer battle game called Kiln, where you play as different pieces of pottery.
Yep.
Actually looks kind of fun.
Yeah,
It's
very
satisfying.
Very reminiscent of Gang Beasts from when I saw it.
So
if you like that sort of game with the weird animation and clay sort of clay.
There is like a weird, like the character creation is a pottery wheel where you make your own vase or kiln
Thing.
or pot.
Clay
You
sculpture.
gotta forge your warrior.
Yeah, and depending on like the dimensions you've given them and how you've decorated them, you get different moves and abilities and stuff. And
Yep.
yeah,
I sort of want to see a variant of this, but it's in real life.
Just
I'm
pottery.
picturing battle bots, but made out
but
of
ceramic robots. Yeah,
The noise would be insane, as will the shards that they need to pick
lots
up.
of sweeping up after that.
Right. I'm sure the champion will be Link smashing all that
Oh
pottery.
yeah,
And there was also Fable.
Fable
Yes.
finally gets
Fable.
more info.
actual gameplay from Fable.
And it is not a Jack and the Beanstalk story.
No,
Which I'm very
no.
glad they finally clarified.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite excited about this.
So
you
did you
go.
play Fable back in the day?
I did not play Fable back in the day. I was more of watch other people play Fable back in the day.
That's fair enough.
I know of Fable. I know it like a lost relative. You know.
I thoroughly enjoyed every Fable. As much as people hate on Fable 3 and whatnot, I really enjoyed it. And it had full co-op as well, which I really enjoyed playing at the time as well.
Yeah.
Sucks when the Microsoft Live or whatever closed down, so you can't do it anymore. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one looks cool. It's like seems like it's based more on the time frame of Fable 1, where it's like
it's a reset.
more sorcery and bows and arrows and swords and stuff. And it looks like they've built in a lot of they've made a lot of big claims where it's like you can own every house in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that in the previous
Yeah.
ones.
That's true.
Things in the story will affect things in the cities, and it's like
Yes.
But it's important to note Peter Molyneux is not involved in this at all.
No.
Notorious liar.
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux.
Some of the claims, like 1,000 NPCs that all have lives that you can follow and daily go and watch.
Yeah.
There is a morality system, but not in the good and evil sense, more in the
it's
kind
a
of...
bit more nuanced.
Yeah,
depending on
like
the
if you are a
I feel
shop
like-
owner
I feel
and
like
you
we
don't
could
pay
go
your
to-
employees enough.
yeah.
I feel like we could go on about this for a while because
Yeah.
that's the nature of the Fable games is that they're very, very, very quite layered and in depth and interwoven. But they're promising a lot of things.
They are. But it's Playground Games. They're good at open world.
And
That's what the Forza ones are.
It's been working.
And it's a UK team as well, so they know their British humour and the way that Fable should
yes.
have entertainment.
Yeah.
All right,
Lots
I
of chicken kicking.
I'm optimistic.
So am I.
Oh, not
And yeah, later this year as well.
All right. We've got
Also,
some.
sorry,
Oops,
quickly, all of those are coming to PlayStation and PC as well.
Yeah.
Except for Forza, which is a timed exclusive.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense. But yeah, PlayStation as well, which is really, really great.
Yeah. All right. Some news nibbles. So, guess what? a new Doom port has dropped. You'll never guess what it can run on now.
What can it run on now?
Earbuds, specifically the Pine Buds Pro. A Sydney developer, web developer Aaron Sarkisian, has made the earbuds run Doom. So I'm not even too sure how that.
I was going to say how, considering it's supposed to be a visual game.
It's so the earbuds can only hold 4 megabytes of data.
Yep.
And
it's got the CPU power to run Doom.
Okay.
And so you can essentially use it as a CPU to run Doom that outputs onto a screen.
Right. Okay.
The buds have a CPU strong enough to run Doom with some minor tweaks. The site notes, he cranked the CPU up to 300 megahertz and disabled low power mode, which provides enough juice to run the game at 18 frames per second.
Hey, that still runs it.
That's pretty good.
Better than the Samsung fridge.
Mario Galaxy trailer.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
It's a trailer. You can go watch it.
This one featuring
Yoshi's in it.
Yeah, Yoshi's in there. Look at that guy.
Another Chris Pratt and dinosaur movie. If I had a nickel for every Chris Pratt and dinosaur movie, I'd have 2 nickels.
And you know how there was all those shenanigans happening the other week with Ubisoft and everything, yada yada yada. You know,
Ubisoft being Ubisoft and a big corporation company with shareholders.
Just the usual stuff.
Yep.
For some reason, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has survived the purge.
It's still in development.
The thing that we all would have assumed was dead.
Yeah.
When was it initially announced?
2017.
It was initially revealed.
I was going to say, that's when I think it was first shown off with that trailer.
2008.
Yeah, but announced much earlier than that.
Yeah, they had a teaser trailer in 2008 that was completely unrelated to what the game ended up being.
Yeah.
Or at least what they were scoping for.
So the current version of the game has been in development since 2017, which is quite a long time for a game to be in development without really seeing much.
Yeah, it's got to be getting close to the Duke Nukem record.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting there. Again.
And that turned out great.
Yeah, totally.
They've also made some pretty big promises, big claims, big efforts with this one. So it's good to know that it's still there.
Yep.
They're still working on it. I guess whether it will actually exist and be real, we shall see.
I imagine it will be, but as to whether it's to the same scope that they were imagining is another question. And then finally, for the news nibbles, we've got Godot 4.6 is out.
Hang on, I go.
What is Godot?
Godot is a game engine that has gained a lot of popularity recently since
the Unity troubles?
Yeah, since the Unity troubles sort of idea. And Godot 4.6 has integrated a lot of new UI features, a lot of backend systems to allow third-party plugins, other things like that there as well. There's a new physics system that was experimental in 4.4. It's now kind of loaded in naturally 4.6. Apparently that's the same physics engine that runs in Death Stranding 2.
Hell yeah.
Apparently it natively supports it and stuff now. So yeah, I'm going to check it out. Try and make something in it over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Show
us what you can do.
Yeah.
You gotta developers stretch a little bit. Try other engines because there are other things, and a lot of them will probably work better for you than what you think is the default.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom.
Yes.
What are some upcoming game releases?
Well, on the 29th, we have The Perfect Pencil for PC and Switch.
That doesn't exist.
On the 30th, we have Can on PC and PS5. We also have I Hate This Place on PS5, PC, and the Xbox series of consoles. We also have Don't Stop Girly Pop on PC. That's finally released.
Nice.
We have Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator for PC.
Yep. Everyone's hotting up.
You're trading Space Warlord babies.
Yep.
And Code Vein 2 is coming to PS5, PC, and the Xbox series.
Yes, and finally we have on the 31st Nickelodeon Splat Pack for the Switch, PC, and PS5. No Xbox for that one.
Woo! And that's it this week in Gaming News.
That was the news.
You're listening to Zed Games. With me in the studio this episode is Peter, Tom, and also I am Zahra.
Hey!
And Tom, you have a gift for us.
Yeah.
It is a review!
It's a review!
A review.
A review.
trip to the cinema this week.
Ooh, where we're going?
Now, a game based on Terminator 2, released in 2025 on your current gen consoles.
What?
It's more likely than you think. Terminator 2D No Fate is the side-scrolling shooting action game that fans of the series would have killed to have back in the day. Developed by the team at Bitmap Bureau with Mike Tucker as the design lead, Terminator 2D is a sincere love letter to what I think is the best Terminator movie, as well as run-and-gun style games of the 90s like Contra and Metal Slug. Yeah, so in this game you take control of Sarah Connor, also the T-800 and future John Connor as you play through levels that are either very faithful to the action set pieces from the movie Terminator 2 or loose interpretations of moments that probably could have happened off screen. So you'll have levels where you play as Sarah Connor when she's escaping from the psychiatric facility and hiding from the T-1000, or there's also a cool beat-em-up stage featuring a naked pixel art Arnie where you fight your way through a biker bar.
Kind of expected that one.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you also have levels like the intro mission, where young teenage John Connor is kidnapped by bandits in hockey masks in the desert, and Sarah Connor has to shoot her way through a Western-style shanty town to rescue him.
It's been a very long time since I've seen the Terminator movies, but
Yeah,
I don't recall this.
I don't recall Sarah Connor going on murder spree through a,
Yeah.
homeless shanty town.
Well, it's like an old Western town that's like deserted. But
Yeah.
I don't remember that in the movie either.
No.
But the run and gun gameplay feels quite snappy. It's similar to a Contra where you're like shooting in your 8 directions, and you're doing your melees and your quick dodges and stuff. And it's like fun enough that you'll find yourself like racking up enough kills that build up a meter that gives you a score multiplier, and you can get a rank at the end of the mission. So that part's quite fun. But the gimmick of Terminator 2D No Fate is the branching storyline pathways. So after completing the main story, which only takes about an hour, you're prompted to play through the game again and make different decisions to alter the timeline and unlock different stages. And I was excited about this aspect of the game, but I was let down to find that there are only 3 possible story branches. With your choices only really resulting in the same extra level added, with some slight weapon changes depending on which one you did, and a bonus stage where you play as the Terminator with a chain gun.
And a different color for the laser?
No. But you do get an extra half a stage at the end of the game. Or
a stage?
Or you can fight the final boss as a different character, which was a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, it definitely seems it, especially with the whole time travel aspect of the Terminator series.
So many things that they could have done, like new bosses. There's like one boss that's kind of a rehash of some other ones, but it's the game's visuals and music are like incredible love letters to the film. There's a lot of like heavy metal, hard rock, techno music that is like has musical motifs from the Terminator series. It's really awesome. Like it's super hype moments. But the package is a bit slight. There's no co-op gameplay or anything like that, like you'd see in a Contra. And there's no really particularly interesting unlockables aside from like there's like a boss rush and like a hard mode and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really tight, short experience with only like a lasting appeal for die-hard fans or people who really want to get like those S ranks on all the missions. The game is priced pretty reasonably at $40 on the Australian PlayStation Store and $45 on the Nintendo eShop. But the physical copy is currently retailing at $99.95.
What?
So buyer beware. It might be worth the digital price, but the physical is a hard sell.
That's quite a bit of disparity. Like normally you'd get $10 difference just for retail prices and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what extras you get either. You might get a soundtrack CD, but it's $45. It's double the price.
Yeah.
But
that is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Does the whole game fit?
It's about 600 megabytes, so I think it's all going to be on the disc, which is something, I guess. And the game was delayed significantly. It was meant to come out in September, but it got delayed to December because they wanted to get that physical release.
Okay.
But ultimately, as something that from like here and now, it's a fun novelty. But if this game came out in 1995 on like the Sega 32X, it would have been like the best game on the system.
Yep.
And that's kind of what they're trying to do. They're trying to emulate that old 90s era. This is your dream Terminator 2 game.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Terminator 2D No Fate.
Interesting.
Yeah, I enjoyed my first run through a lot. And then each subsequent run through, like about 20% less enjoyment.
Which is a bummer.
It is a
Yeah,
bummer.
usually if you're playing
for-
through a game again, you want to be overpowered, experience new things, try out different strategies. Doesn't
You said
seem like
that
there's a
you
lot of it.
could, did you say that you could play as other characters, or you could fight the final boss as different characters?
You are assigned a character for each level, but depending on your one of two particular choices that you can make, you end up playing as a different character in that last setting. So you might not be John Connor, you might just be Sarah Connor.
Okay.
But yeah, there is some
Slight
variety in the
variations.
stages and stuff, but at the end of it, it's not. I don't see myself going back to it after completing it.
It sounds like it could be a bit of a groundhog situation.
Yeah,
Oh well.
that's Terminator 2D No Fate. I believe it's available on PC and all current consoles.
Including the Switch.
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
Nice, cool. You're listening to Zed Games. My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio this episode is Peter and Tom.
Hey, oh.
Howdy.
And we actually, I will not be here for very long because Paul's got a review for us. So
Yay.
shh.
You awaken in an underground bunker. Directly in front of you is a strange computer. A voice crackles on the radio. This is the entire setting for Inkle's latest game, TR49. Remember that name, there will be a test later. Inkle are renowned for their writing-centric narrative games, from the globe-trotting adventure of 80 Days to the sci-fi archaeology of Heaven's Vault, the mountain exploration of A Highland Song, and the reverse Agatha Christie murders of Overboard. All of these games share one thing: excellent, extensive writing, and practically nothing else. From gameplay to art style, Inkle always seem to have fresh ideas. Which brings us back to their latest game, TR49. The only actions you have in this game is entering 4-letter alphanumeric codes into a machine and occasionally pushing a button to talk on the radio. The machine in question is an archive of books and other writing with a microfilm-style interface. Your primary task will involve exploring the works that led the world to its current point, including those who built and operated the machine itself. In fact, the family of people involved with the machine have left their personal notes on most entries. This includes fictional works from the in-game universe and real works of literature. What did they think of Alice in Wonderland? Well, once you've worked out how the system functions, you can find out. By including a wide variety of works and cross-references, it also creates a lot of happy accidents. Often in my playthrough, I'd get something wrong, and despite there being 62,500 possible codes, I would still stumble on something. Also, the system is clear enough that it's possible to brute force some information in a way that's both viable, but not so enticing that you'd want to do it often. With this vast archive of writing accessible at any time, you may be surprised to discover the narrative is pretty much linear. Considering there are no real gates to information, that's quite an achievement. There are a few alternative endings, but those rely on how you solve the wider puzzle at the end. Once completed, you can simply go back to before you submit your solution, so there's no risk. The final puzzle will need you to at least fundamentally understand what has happened and the relationships of those involved. The game also contains a built-in notebook which records important data and codes as you find them. This was both robust and straightforward enough that after taking a break it was simple to come back and pick up the relevant narrative threads. I guess hard mode would be to make your own notes. At the game's onset, I was a little worried because there sure was a lot of literary science fantasy jargon, but quickly the ideas and general themes emerged, and by the conclusion, I was quite comfortable with what it meant and who the people involved were. There are a few layers of narrative going on, as there is a narrative of your actions exploring the archive, the narrative of the past being uncovered, and a narrative outside the machine, mostly coming in via the radio. This last layer works almost like a radio play, with some enjoyable performances from the cast. Thematically, the game explores ideas of how records can affect reality, how ideas spread, and the involvement of large language models. For a game that is really only one screen, a machine and the bunker around it, the team have managed to keep things slick. The controls are chunky but fast. The interface zips around entries with a retro sci-fi charm, with a glitchiness of a corrupt system. There's even a button dedicated to just speeding up the animations if you want to get straight to the meat. The music, sound effects and voice work are similarly at a high standard, and really allow me to just focus on exploring. I 100%ed the game, for whatever that means. I clarify that because there are so many entries I haven't seen. Most of these would be for real books that fill out the archive, but since the characters comment on these, there's still a lot of writing I have not and will never see, and I'm fine with that. I expect this is the kind of game I can revisit in a few years and still get a kick out of. Now, do you remember the name? That's right, it's TR49. Here's a little rhyme to help you remember. To not forget, just say this rhyme. The name of the game is TR49. I hope that helps. I played the PC version of TR49 on Steam Deck with code provided. The game is also available for iOS devices.
Thank you so much for that review, Paul. That sounded absolutely incredible. And we're starting to wind down, but Tom, you've been to the, I think they're called movies?
The cinema, yes.
The actual cinema.
Yeah.
Not just the video game cinema.
I saw a real movie this week. I saw
Other media.
Return to Silent Hill, which is the Silent Hill 2 movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, full disclosure,
Thoughts?
I saw this movie for free with tickets from the studio. It was a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who like Silent Hill 2, I was laughing for the first 15 minutes, and then I just got angry. Not angry, but frustrated. Instead of trying to, people were optimistic because they got Christophe Gans back, who directed the first Silent Hill movie back in 2006.
Yep.
And for some reason, people have retrospectively looked back at it with rose-tinted glasses, they're saying, "Oh, that was a good game, good interpretation and stuff." It was not good, and this one's worse.
Right.
Instead of having a morally grey or a character that's an unreliable narrator who is going through an intimate story of guilt and sorrow and all that sort of stuff. No, instead, James Sunderland is not a tortured soul. He is a cool guy. He is not a banker. He is a painter. The movie opens the movie with him driving down a mountainside in his Ford Mustang convertible with his shades on, music pumping. Lighting
Shades?
Lighting himself.
In Silent Hill?
Yeah, he lights a blunt and smoking up as he drives on, almost gets into a car accident. And then
totally relatable protagonist.
Yeah.
Everyone has this experience.
Yeah. Has a meet cute with the main character, but essentially they've changed the context of the entire story of Silent Hill 2. They've kept all the same scenes with other characters, all the same blocking, but just changing the context of everything. This is going to bother you if you're a fan.
Yeah, that sucks.
Maybe don't watch it at the cinema.
Do you think if you haven't experienced any Silent Hill whatsoever, you just popped out from under a rock, you might enjoy it?
I think you would be confused because the story is not great.
Right.
With what they've decided to do.
That's...
This has a happy ending.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we
right.
need to leave because that's...
That doesn't sound like Silent Hill.
That's bonkers. Clearly we need to take you somewhere, Tom. You're unwell. That is all for Zed Games this week. We'll see you next week. Until then, stay safe, play games, stay hydrated. Until next time, bye!
Bye!
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app.
Or find us on socials at ZD Games AU.
See you next time.